Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining today. My name is Melissa, and I'm here to lead you through all levels yoga. We are going to practice together for 45 minutes today. As we go through class, just a reminder to listen to your body. If any stretches do not work for you, please skip them, come on out and modify. Things that you'll need for class today is you'll just need a yoga mat. So any yoga mat will do. And if you would also like to have a block and a blanket close by, that might be nice to add a little support to the practice. It's not a necessity for class, but some people like to practice with props. So that's always an option if you'd like to do that. And I was thinking as we go through class today, we'll just do a really nice full body stretch. So we'll just work on all those areas that build a bit of tension throughout the day. We'll work on the shoulders, we'll get down to the hips and the legs, we'll work on our wrists, our neck as well. So we'll try to hit all of the spots and do a really nice balancing practice for the full body. As we get started today, I just wanted to start with a little poem that I came across that I thought ties in really nicely to the practice. And I'd love to start in a seated centering. So if you would like to join me in a comfortable seated position, and that's where we will begin. So as we take that comfortable seat, if it feels comfortable to have the legs crossed and that works for you, you can do that, or you can extend the legs out in front of you as well. Sorry, my allergies have been bothering me the last couple of days. So as we start, the poem is called The Goal of Yoga, and it goes a little like this. The yoga pose is not the goal. Being flexible is not the goal. Standing on your hands is not the goal. The goal is to create space where you are once stuck, to unveil the layers of protection you've built around your hearts, to appreciate your body and become aware of the mind and the noise it creates, to make peace with who you are. The goal of yoga is to love. We come to our yoga mat to feel, not to accomplish. Shift your focus and your heart will grow. So when I read that, I just thought it was so beautiful, and so many times, I can't even tell you how many times people say to me, oh, I can't do yoga, I'm not flexible. And I'm always saying, that's actually not the point of yoga. Yoga has really nothing to do with being flexible. Yoga is this amazing practice that can really be whatever you need it to be. Sometimes I go to the yoga mat and I need a little workout or just need to de-stress. So it's kind of cool how you can let the practice be whatever you need in that moment. And it ultimately is really an amazing time to connect to your body and to your breath and the present moment. So as we start today, we'll start in that seated position, and let's take a moment to drop into a centering. So this is an opportunity to release the day so far, to let it all go, recenter, and essentially to start again in the moment. Let's begin with a little release on the shoulders. We'll take our shoulders up to the ears. We'll create a nice large circle and then relax your shoulders on the exhale. Take a full breath in. Let's bring our shoulders up, back, and down. And let's go one more time here. Breathe in and breathe out. Great. As you relax your shoulders down, closing the eyes, and just taking this moment to just feel your body connecting to the surface that you're sitting on. And maybe feel the edges of legs and the edges of the feet grounding down. Feel your sitting bones pressing down, and then finding length in the spine. Try to lengthen the back of the neck. Try to reach and stretch through the crown of the head. Let yourself drop into your breath. Observe the gentle rise and the gentle fall of the breath. And then lengthening as you inhale and lengthening as you exhale. Maybe encouraging your exhale to be a little bit longer than the inhale. Maybe for this moment, just watch the breath as it gently flows in and flows out through your nose. Take a moment and set an intention for class today. And your intention can be anything. It might be that you want to relax a bit. It could be that you're holding tension in your body and you want to release that. So there's really no right and no wrong intention. It's just your own little goal or desire that you have for the next 45 minutes. Let's take a moment here and circle the head. So imagine that there was a clock in front of you and you want to run your nose through the numbers of the clock. So we'll just work this really nice rotation here. And reverse. Let's flow in the other direction. So just reverse that movement. And then as you're circling here, just noticing how the neck feels, noticing how movement feels. Maybe it feels more natural to circle this way, and maybe it feels a little unnatural to circle this way. Let's take a moment here. We'll bring ourselves into a neutral neck. Let's take that right hand down onto the ground, and then left arm reaches up and over. Take a full breath here. Core engages. Left hand down, right hand rises. And just find your own rhythmic flow here. So nice full breath. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, soften. And then just finding your flow from side to side. And each time, see if you can reach up and out of the waist a little bit more. Let's give ourselves a moment here to pause. We'll release the hand off to the right. The right hand releases down. Left arm up and over, and almost create a little sensation like you could spin your heart to the sky. So we're trying to roll that left shoulder back, right shoulder under. Let your core engage. Let's bring ourselves back up to center. Left hand down, right hand rises. Nice full breath in and out here. Really anchor in through that right sitting bone. Allow for length to be found. And release. Let's bring ourselves back through to a neutral spine. And we'll come on forward into a table position for a little stretching there. And as you come into table, if you would like, you can grab a blanket to do a little bit of padding there for the knees. Let's take our knees, our hips in line. We'll bring our wrists, our shoulders in line, and also feel the fingers fan out nice and wide. So really press into the index finger and the thumb. We'll start with our right leg. Let's bring our right knee into fire hydrant and begin to create circles here. So maybe find large circles, maybe find smaller circles. And reverse. We'll circle in the other direction. Right leg, let's kick that to the right. That will land us in a gorilla kick. So we'll just kick that foot to the right, flex the foot, press through the heel, the back of the knee. Foot begins to lower down, core engages as you come on up. And we'll work with a pose called gate pose, Parigasana. So let's take our hands up, full breath in, hands at heart. On the exhale, let's go a bunch more times here. Warm up those shoulders. Get the circulation, blood flowing, shoulders, really helps to open up the neck as well. Right hand. Let's take our right hand to our right hip. We'll bring our left arm up and over. Let's land in a side stretch here. Now roll that left shoulder back, right shoulder under. See if you can shine your heart to the sky a little bit more. Core engages. Let's come back to center. Left hand down, right hand up. And options to find the best variation for your body. So you may want to stay right where you're at. There is an option to lift your leg up. There's also an option to take your hand for the foot to take a bind here. And we'll make sure that we're breathing. So sometimes in this one, we're really trying to focus or balance, and we hold the breath. So try to breathe in and out as deeply as possible. Bring your foot down. Let's engage the core to come on up. Hands will come to the top of the mat. Right foot will move to the left for a C curve in the spine. And then you can walk your hands off to the left. And then you can also gaze off your left shoulder. So just let that move you a little deeper into that stretch for your spine. Good. Let's bring ourselves back to neutral. We're going to float ourselves into that table position. And working a little bit deeper with that C curve in the spine. Let's gaze off our right shoulder, look back for the right toes. Come back to center and let's gaze off the left shoulder, look back for left toes. Back to center. Let's go one more time to the right and then one more time to the left. It's always nice to move our spine in different directions. The spine moves 6 different ways, so it's always really important in warm-ups to get the spine flowing in all the directions. Back to neutral. Let's take that left knee to fire hydrant and we'll begin to circle. Find that movement here. And reverse. Let's flow in the other direction. Left foot kicks to the left for gorilla kick, and then the foot will come down. The core will engage as you come on up. Let's take our hands up, breathe in. Now, as your hands come to the heart, let's circle in the other direction. So we'll just warm up those shoulders a little differently this time. So hands up, we'll bring it out and around. Full breath in, out. Let's go a few more times here. Left hand to left hip, right arm up and over, side stretch. Try to breathe so deeply here. Really try to expand the lungs and the ribs as you inhale. Core engages, almost just feeling like a cartwheel down. We're going to take our right hand down, left hand up. Landing here in the variation of side plank, Vashisthasana. And staying here, you may want to lift your leg up. There's also the variation where you take your hand to meet your foot. Again, connect with your breath. Be mindful of breathing in and then out through your nose. So you want to try to avoid mouth breathing through the yoga practice today. Let's bring the foot down. Core engages as you come up. Hands at the top of your mat. Left foot to the right. Let's bring it to C curve in the spine. Walk your hands off to the right. Maybe take your gaze off the right shoulder. Let's bring ourselves back through to neutral, tabletop. Take a full breath here. Let's lift up into down dog on the exhale. Toes curl under, hips to the sky, downward facing dog. Now, encouraging an upside down V shape with your body. Feel free to shake it out a little bit here. We'll prefer a little movement, helps to open up their body a little bit better. But you can always hold stillness if that feels more grounding to you. Bending one knee, bending the other knee. Relaxing your head, yes. Relaxing your head, no. Let's come into stillness. We'll bring ourselves into a fold forward here. So toes to the hands in a forward fold. Now, as you take your fold, let's check it out a little bit here as well. So maybe bend one knee, other. Yes and no. If the ground feels far away, feel free to take those hands on blocks for support or have a deep bend in your knees. That's an option as well. As you find stillness here, let's bring ourselves into a half lift. Hands can come onto the shins. So we'll take this opportunity to lift and lengthen the spine. Come on down, fold, and then back up to a standing pose. Hands to the sky. And then let's take our hands at the heart on the exhale. Bringing your hands up. Fingers will interlock and palms will press up. So we'll just take a nice full breath here to lengthen. Let's take the hands to the right and the left. So let's continue that lateral stretch for the spine. Get nice and grounded in both of your feet. Taking that opportunity to pause, hands to the left. Feel your right hip press to the right. Roll your left shoulder under, and then right shoulder comes back a little bit. Let's bring ourselves back to center. Nice full breath here to lengthen. Let's take our hands to the right and then hips to the left. Try to get nice and grounded in both of the feet. And back through the center, realign here, hands behind your body. We'll come into a stretch called Yoga Mudra. So for this one, fingers will interlock and then palms will touch. Maybe imagine that you could squeeze a pencil in between the shoulder blades. Option to stand up with the spine straight, and you could come forward to fold if you'd like. And try to relax the fronts of the shoulders. Just noticing if that helps you move a little deeper into the shoulder stretch. Let's lower the hands down. We're going to float the hands onto our low back and then hands float down to the ground. Let's bring ourselves back through to a half lift. Fold yourself down and then back up to mountain, grounding into the feet as you rise. Take your hands at your heart on your exhale. Let's try a dancer pose. We'll work with a pose called Nadarajasana. So for this one, right hand for your right foot. If you want to grab on the outside of the foot, that's a little gentler stretch on your shoulder. But if you wanted a deeper shoulder stretch, you can grab on the inside of the foot. Left hand, let's bring it up. Maybe come into a mudra with your hands. So that would be a chin mudra where you can take your index and your thumb to touch. The pads of the fingers can come together. And then let's begin to kick the foot into the hand. So we're going to take ourselves forward here. Now, as we're balancing, find a drishti. Try to find that one spot to focus your concentration, to focus your awareness. And once you find that spot, not letting the eyes shift at all. From here, let's come into a crescent warrior. So right foot steps back. Be right up on the heel, or right up on the toes rather, of your right foot. So we want our heel lifted, and then we want the majority of the foot to be off of the ground. Really try to take your hips and square them forward. So we'll encourage that right hip forward, left hip back, and then right shoulder forward and left shoulder back a little bit. Springing off your right foot, let's take our right knee into our chest and into the stomach. So fingers will interlock and begin to reach for the front of the knee. I know some of these balances can be a little tricky. So if you're close to a wall, feel free to grab onto that to help steady the balance, or maybe a chair or a table that's close by. Now for this pose, you can stay right where you're at. If you'd like a little more challenge, right knee opens off to the right side of the room. Left knee can, or left hand can open off to the left. Maybe gaze off your left fingertips. This one's nice. Give you that nice inner leg stretch, nice hip stretch. Staying here. Option to come back to center. We can take our knee to our chest. We're going to cross it off to the left. We'll try for a little twist here. Gazing off the right shoulder. And then trying to relax the right shoulder from the right ear. Let's bring ourselves back through to center. We'll take our knee to our chest, give it a nice hug in, and then step back into a warrior one pose from here. So just float that right foot back. Right heel lowers. We'll bring our hands up as you inhale. Now for this warrior, the back heel is grounded, so we can get a little bit more calf stretch, a little bit more quad, hip flexor, and psoas stretch. Straightening and bending that front leg. So let's straighten out our front leg. We'll take our arms alongside the body, palms face forward. And then nice deep bend in that front knee. Gently sink the hips forward and down. We'll straighten and bend. So let's just go at our own pace here, finding your own rhythmic flow. Good. Let's bring it back. Stillness here. Warrior one. Hands are going to come down. Let's float it into a runner's lunge. Bring yourself into plank from here. High push-up pose. Knees can be up or down, whichever you prefer. Let's lower it down. Chaturanga. We'll come into an upward facing dog here. And then holding this pose for a moment. Let's gaze off that right shoulder. See if you can get a little deeper stretch for your back. We'll come back to center, gaze off your left shoulder, maybe a little more hip flexor, psoas stretch. Back to center. Let's come into down dog on exhale, hips to the sky. Bring it through, forward fold. Let's land at the top of the mat. We're going to take ourselves to a half lift. Fold yourselves down and then rising up with the breath. Nice inhale and then hands at the heart as you exhale. Let's try dancer on the other side. We'll bring our left hand for the left foot. Right hand, maybe coming back to that mudra where we take our index and thumb together, the pads of the fingers touch, and begin to kick the foot into the hand as you float forward. So our mudra is important, our Chin Mudra, Yana Mudra. This mudra is said to be great for calming the mind, for cultivating concentration and creativity. Let's release into crescent from here. Left foot back, left heel lifted, hands can reach up. Crescent warrior, also called the high lunge pose sometimes. Try to zip the core up on this one. Let your tailbone tuck and feel the navel move back and up to the spine a little bit. Springing off your left foot. Let's float that knee up into the chest and into the stomach. Fingers interlock, reaching for the front of the knee. And staying here, you have those options if you'd like. So left knee can open off to the left side of the room. Right hand can come back to that mudra, right hand to the right. This will take you into that inner leg stretch, hip stretch. Also really nice for the low back as well. Let's bring ourselves back through to center. We're going to take our knee to our chest. You can hug it in. Let's take our left knee to the right. And then left hand to the left. So this one is where we find our twist. As you breathe in, feel your spine lengthen. As you breathe out, let your twist deepen. Let's bring ourselves back to center. Knee can come to the chest, hug it in. Float your foot back and come into a warrior one pose. We have our left foot back, left heel lowers, hands reach up. Try to square the hips and the shoulders forward here. And breathing. Maybe do a little scan of your body. Notice where you might be holding onto tension. And then as you exhale, let that tension go. We'll come into that flowing warrior one, releasing the arms, releasing that front leg, resetting yourself back, and finding that rhythmic flow with your breath, inhaling and exhaling deeply. Now we're going to reset ourselves back. Let's come to a warrior one pose. We'll float our hands down. Let's bring it into a runner's lunge and then right hand rises. Let's take a twist here, runner's twist. And then as you're twisting on the in-breath, feel the spine lengthen. And on your out-breath, allow for your twist to deepen. Right hand plants. Let's take our left foot to meet our right foot. Forward fold. Right foot comes back. Runner's lunge. Left hand rises. Let's twist on the other side. Runner's twist. Now, as you're twisting, really activate your back leg. Press firmly through the heel and the back of the knee. Try to feel your leg active, engaged, energized. Let's float it back to runner's lunge. High push-up pose, plank. Knees up or down, chaturanga. We'll take our up dog here. Let's hold this. We'll hold it one last time. Gaze off your left shoulder this time. And back to center. Nice full breath in. Let's look off the right shoulder. And back to center. Let's take it back on through to a downward facing dog. Now, as we take down dog, I'd love to work a pose called flip dog. So for flip dog, if the shoulders are very tight and tense, you may want to skip this. Just meet us in the next pose. For flip dog, we're going to take our right leg up to the side, bend, stack, and open. And then that right foot is just going to flip to the left side of the mat. So we're just going to spin ourselves over. Then we want to be really light on our feet. We're just kind of spinning on our feet. Feet are planted. Knees are bent, and then hips are lifting up so we can get a nice back bend here. Let's reset. We're going to bring ourselves back on through to that nice three-limbed dog. And then big step forward. Let's take it to warrior two pose. We'll take our right foot to the top of the mat. And we're going to open it up. Now, as you set up in warrior two, really activate your feet. Almost imagine that you could pull your feet in towards the center of the yoga mat, really activate all of the muscles in your feet, the ankles, and through the legs. Reverse, let's float it up and back. Back hand can glide down the back leg. Maybe wrap your arm around your low back. Reach for the other hip crease and then take a half bind here. Core engages. Let's come on up. Right arm to right leg, lateral angle. And then maybe extended lateral angle if you'd like to go there. And then trying not to collapse here into the bottom shoulder, lifting and lengthening a bit. Rise up, let's engage the core. Straighten your front leg, front hand up and back. Reverse triangle stretch. Come on through. Let's come back to warrior two. Windmill the hands down. Runner's lunge. Float it into plank. High push up. Knees up or down. Chaturanga. We'll come into our upward facing dog here. Try to open the chest and then open up the heart. Let's lift it up. Down dog when you're ready. Working with our flip dog on the other side. Let's bring that left leg to the sky. Bend the knee. Stop. Through the hips. Left foot will flip to the right. Light it on those feet, just kind of spinning. Feet are grounded. Knees are bent. Hips are lifting up. Feel that top hand reaching up and overhead. Come on through back, 3-limbed dog, leg to the sky. Bring it through. Warrior 2, we're gonna open it up. Now feel the hands very active in this pose. Feel that left hand reach and stretch forward, right hand reach and stretch back. Arms are active, and also feel the legs very active. Reverse, we'll bring it into peaceful warrior 2 pose. Try to keep a nice bend in that front knee. Body's natural tendency is to straighten the front leg a bit. Come on up, core engages, left arm down. And maybe deepen that stretch for extended lateral angle. Rising with the breath. Warrior 2, straighten the front leg, front hand up and back, reverse triangle stretch. Back on through, warrior 2. Windmill the hands down. Let's bring it to runner's lunge. We'll take some time here to work with a hip opener. Walk your left foot to the left edge of the mat. So you'll try to have both of your hands on the inside of the foot. And we'll take some time here to work with lizard or gecko. So to make this one easier, you can take your back knee down onto the ground. And then whether the knee is up or down, it's your preference. You may want to stay on the hands. You can also drop down to the forearms if you'd like. And stillness may work for you. Maybe movement feels better. And I know this can be a deep stretch. So just see if you can find a little softness in the pose where you can. Maybe you can unclench the jaw. Maybe you can relax the eyebrows. And just checking in and just seeing where you can find a little softness in the pose. And release. We're going to press up onto the hands. Right foot will take a big step to the upper right edge of the mat. So we're just going to take a nice big step forward. So we land in a fold with the legs wide. Let's take our left foot back. So a runner's lunge with the legs wide. We'll have our right foot off to the right edge of the mat. And then this is where we can lower that back knee down if needed. We can have it lifted. Hands on the hands, maybe drop down to the forearms. And you can also take forearms onto the blocks. And then maybe rock around a little bit. Maybe stillness will work for you. Now, to come out of this pose, what we'll do is we'll curl our left toes under. Take your left foot to the upper left edge of the mat. So that brings us into that hold with the legs wide, and then coming to a yogi squat pose. So feel free to turn your toes out. And if the knees are really tight, this pose might not work for you. Sometimes this pose is a little easier if you take your feet wider from one another. So feel free to take those feet as wide as possible and then have your toes turn out so that your toes are pointing in the same direction as your knees. Maybe draw your weight back into your heels, let your toes be light. Almost a feeling like your toes could lift from the ground. And let's begin to release that one. Hands will come down, straighten out the backs of your legs, take your feet in line with your hips. Let's bring it back to plank. Find your high push-up pose. Let's take one last up dog here. Lower down chaturanga. We'll come to that upward facing dog. See if you can relax your shoulders away from your ears and then press back to down dog when you're ready. Knees will begin to lower. Sweep your feet to the right or to the left. And from here, let's come down onto our backs. Feet are going to be right in line with your hips. So you'll have your knees bent. Gentle support to the back of your head. Fingers will interlock, gently support here. We'll work with some crunches. So first we want to engage our core. Create a sensation of tucking your tailbone. So imagine if you drew a line from your navel down to the yoga mat, that there was a grape there. And imagine that you wanted to squish the grape with your navel. So you might feel this nice grounding in your mid back, and then you might feel your low back lift from the mat a little bit. We're going to come on up, head, neck, shoulders lift, and then lower it down. Begin to lift and lengthen up. And release. Flow with the breath here for a moment. Try not to crank the head at all. Just want to feel this nice, gentle support. Also make sure that you're breathing, really easy to hold the breath. So try to inhale deeply and exhale deeply. Now we'll take this into twists. So just similar to the movement that we created, but as you lift up, let's take our right elbow to our left knee, maybe do a little tap. We'll try to keep the head lifted the whole time, core engages, and then let's bring left to right. And then we'll just flow side to side here. Again, you're just gonna find your own rhythmic flow, keeping the core engaged. Make sure that you're not cranking the head, just have that gentle support. Keep the breath moving in and out through your nose. Now let's build on this one. Let's take our right elbow to the left knee. And then we're just gonna do a nice little like straighten out, and then we're gonna come back. So we're gonna take right to left. And then let's go 5 times total here, and then straighten. And then as you do that, really activate the feet. Press out through your toes, press out through the ball mounds. At the front of the foot there, we have a big one and a small one. Good, let's go that last time. And then we'll try after the other side. So we'll take left elbow to the right knee, and then we're going to straighten it out. Twist, really try to compress. Good, when that feels complete, let's release it down and we'll just come onto our back. Knees will come to our chest, hug them in, and gently rock to the right and gently rock to the left. And so as you're rocking here, try to melt away tension that you might feel in your body. That rocking movement, let's bring that into circles. So maybe find the large circles here, maybe find smaller circles here. And reverse. Flow in the other direction. And let's release that one. We will come into some relaxation time. We'll come into Shavasana. So for this one, legs can relax and arms can relax. And if your back is sensitive at all when you're laying flat, sometimes bending the knees and planting the feet is more of an active rest pose. And that just helps to relax some of the muscles there in the back body. And then you can just lay here, take some time to integrate the benefits of the yoga practice into your mind, into your body, and into your spirit. Walk slowly. It only takes a reminder to breathe, a moment to be still. And just like that, something in me settles, softens, makes space for imperfection. The harsh voice of judgment drops to a whisper. And I remember again that life isn't a relay race, that we will all cross the finish line, that waking up to life is what we were born for. As many times as I forget, catch myself charging forward without even knowing where I'm going, that many times I can make the choice to stop, to breathe, and be, and walk slowly into the mystery. Become aware of your breathing in your body. Take a nice full breath in and out, rolling onto your side. Find your favorite side and then land in a fetal position. Let's bring it up into seated. As you come into seated, hands can come to the heart in prayer in Anjali Mudra. Maybe closing the eyes, ending class with an Apache blessing. May the sun bring you new energy by day. May the moon softly restore you by night. May the rain wash away your worries. May the breeze blow new strength into your being. May you walk gently through the world and know its beauty all the days of your life. The light within me honors the light within you. Namaste. Thank you for joining today. It's a pleasure to be here with you, practicing yoga with you. I hope that you enjoyed practice. I hope your bodies are feeling great. I hope your minds are feeling relaxed. And I look forward to seeing you soon. I'll be back tomorrow at 3 o'clock Eastern time for a mindful stretch class. So that'll be just 15-minute little mini break in the day. And we'll work with some similar things that we worked with today. So it's a little stretching on the yoga mat. Hope to see you then. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Melissa.
You're welcome, Dave.
Thank you.
You're welcome.